as we continue to think about what's next, I think what's next for us is to become stronger, to become more courageous, to rally together around community, to really lean in, in a gender-focused way around mentorship, and really make sure that we're aligning our values and our needs and then forging a path ahead.
Welcome to the Woman Angler and Adventurer Podcast, inspiring real women with a passion for fishing in the outdoors to go get their adventure on. Now, here's your host, Master Captain Angie Scott.
All right, everyone, welcome to this week's episode of the Woman Angler and Adventurer Podcast. This is actually my very first interview at iCast 2022, so just kicked off really today. We kind of had an event last night with where my guest that's going to be on this week actually spoke. So she's all warmed up and ready to go for you. But I'm excited to introduce you to Tiffany Smith from Camber Outdoors. Tiffany, welcome to the show.
Angie, thank you so much. I'm elated and honored to be the first guest for the 2022 iCast podcast. Tiffany, this is awesome. Yeah. Elated to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for coming out. And I'm excited to talk about what you do at Camber because it's a really important topic. And I didn't even know you guys existed until I found out about you at the show. Wow. So tell listeners a little bit about what you do at Camber.
Yeah, thanks so much again, Ange. We are a national nonprofit. We've been around for over 25 years. Oh, wow. And I love the fact that you haven't heard about us. So now we can make this introduction and, connect the dots along the way. Our focus and our mission is really centered around advancing inclusion, equity, and diversity in the outdoor recreation economy. We do that by helping corporations build more inclusive workplaces that will really be able to attract and retain diverse talent. That's making sure that all of the underserved and underrepresented groups are represented. And we do what we can through programs and resources and tools to really make sure that every corporation, every small business, every nonprofit, has exactly what they need to be able to really have a diverse, equitable, and inclusive workplace. And it has truly been amazing so far. So I'm super excited to be able to share more about this impactful work that we do every single day to really move the needle on change. And at Camber, we really view the workplace as the vehicle of change for us.
Has it always been in the outdoors all these years?
That's a great question. Yeah, when we originally formed, we were really focused on women in the outdoor industry. And back in the day, it was OIWC, and it was the Outdoor Industry Women's Coalition, and really centered around mentorship and partnerships with advancing women in the outdoor industry space. Back in 2017, 2018, we began to really shift to really widen the scope of the mission to include other underrepresented groups, which include the BIPOC community as well, LGBTQIA, just all the different groups that we don't normally see represented. We wanted to make sure that we had a lens and a framework to support everyone that we could.
Awesome. It seems like it's getting to be more and more of a hot topic these days. Why do you think that is? It's just we're getting to that point where more people are focused on it, or...
That is a great question. We, as I think about, the changes that we've endured over the last 2.5, 3+ years, from literally the global pandemic, the health economic crisis we've been going through, now to present day, thinking about Roe versus Wade, and then in the same highlight and breath, right? We see all of these different things happening with women rising to power. I think over the past couple of years, I would say for sure that people are just becoming more aware, and they're being more conscious about where they spend their time, how they spend their time, and who they're connected to. And it just so happens that the workplace It's one of the places where we spend majority of our time. And I believe people now are taking a pause and really considering, does my personal mission align with my company values? And with that moment of contention on both ends, the employers and the employees have to make some decisions that will garner community and inclusion to be able to be competitive for the future.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Who are some of the companies that you guys work with?
Wow, it's a wide variety of companies that we serve, from Fortune 100 companies to other, corporations and small businesses and nonprofits, companies like Yeti, I see Sims here, Sperry, some of the other VF Foundation corporation brands, Timberland, Smartwool. We have just a plethora. Rumpel is one of the organizations that we serve. Our outdoor recreation or outdoor industry scope is a wide scope of all active indoor retail, a wide scope of partners that we serve.
Gotcha. So I want to talk about the event last night.
Sure.
We did, what was the official name of it? Was it the Women?
I think it was just a women's networking event.
And it was
sponsored by Shimano and RBBF, the foundation, which was phenomenal. Like their initiatives around making waves. I mean, I was just blown away. I was blown away by just such the strong and bold statements around women in fishing and boating. It was just such a breath of fresh air to see just the courage and the boldness around standing up to make sure that women are seeing other women do the things that they, whoever they may be, said that we couldn't. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, so just so listeners kind of have a little background of what we did. So you spoke in the beginning. Sure. We had a couple people get up and speak. I think Stephanie Badalaro. Mm-hmm. I always say her name wrong.
She's amazing.
Yeah, shared some statistics from RBFF about women in fishing, and I was surprised to learn. We always hear the stat that women are the fastest growing segment in the fishing industry, but I was surprised to learn that the retention is dropping off faster than what we're gaining. Right. Which that's actually across the board in all of fishing, not just women. But I thought that was very interesting because I wasn't aware of that. But anyway, then we had little tables, and they had questions written up for us, and we all had to go to different tables. We had 10 minutes to discuss these questions and share our ideas. And I just thought that was a really great format. What was kind of your takeaway from that, your experience?
Yeah, I love the format. One of the things that I really wanted to do was just learn more about the needs of women in the fishing industry, and wanted to see if they aligned with what I'm seeing in other sectors in the outdoor industry, and they do. Even though each sector may be at a different level in their diversity maturity journey, what I'm finding is that women still all have the same needs. To be seen, to be valued, to be treated equitable, to have the opportunity to pursue their passion in a way that aligns with where they're headed. And so I think that as we continue to think about what's next, I think what's next for us is to become stronger, to become more courageous, to rally together around community, to really lean in, in a gender-focused way around mentorship, and really make sure that we're also aligning not as an organization, but as a gender, that we're aligning our values and our needs and then forging a path ahead.
That's great. I thought it was really interesting, too. One of the things that RBFF shared was what women's top priorities are when it comes to fishing.
Right.
And their top priority is really just relaxing, getting out there to relax, not catching a fish, which that's still on the list, but I think they said it's number 4 down. Sure. Whereas for guys, that's their number 1. And so it goes to show you that companies need to be marketing to women totally differently than they market to men.
100%. Like when we think about, I think, like I said, in the industry segment, we have to really consider, the purpose, the alignment, the passion, the value system, and we have to market that way. But not only beyond the marketing that way, we have to also consider those same things when considering the workplace, that the needs that your current employee base may have had in the past, they are not the same needs of today's market as far as what employees are looking for, what they're asking for. We can see that as we see the rise and fall of, in the transition of so many different employees throughout different companies right now. You can see that, just from, people not being able to really retain diverse talent, the churn of diverse talent. Those are all indicators of maybe there's something within the organization, within the company, that we need to align with that particular demographic in order to better serve them. So whether you're talking marketing or you're talking building inclusive workplaces, it's the same lens to be able to really provide that scope for people. We have this program called The Voice from the Future of Work, and we just really wanted to just hear from other voices, from Black voices, brown voices, Asian voices, millennial voices. We want to just really hear their insight, number one, about the outdoor industry. Number two, what would make them or what would cause them to really pursue a career path in the outdoor industry, and what are some of the barriers. And so because we understood that the outdoor industry is 81% white, so what that means is that we don't have that perspective. So let's get the perspective from the underrepresented groups, and then let's share it with our partners to really help them to build the workplace that they're looking to really attract and retain the diverse talent.
It's interesting. It sounds like there's definitely a parallel between the workplace and just the industry in general.
It really is. It really is. I think in the past, for whatever reason, it wasn't like that in reference to workplace, community, your personal life. But now we're seeing everything is merged together. The workplace has now become your apartment or your house, or, outside in the park, because of all of the different changes. And because of that, that is having us to really sit back and ask ourselves, how do we accommodate this shift in a way that helps us to be more competitive, to help us to be able to have the best talent and produce the best product? And so our mission is to really help them to be able to do that. And we know for sure that having a diverse group really helps people to really advance at least 33% beyond the other groups.
Awesome. Well, I can tell when you speak about this, you're very passionate about it. And I love that. And why is this so important to you personally?
Oh my goodness. I love this work. I really do. I have been in the nonprofit philanthropic sector for, I feel really old saying this, almost 20 years now. And a few years ago, I was in development doing great, raising a lot of money for different nonprofits, which I love serving nonprofits. And it was during the George Floyd, moment where I really paused and asked myself, what type of contribution or legacy do you really want to leave? And I began to think about, I really want to be able to support underrepresented groups, to support women, support people that look like me, to really help and advance them in a way that will literally change their lives. And when I was connected with Camber, it was a perfect match for me, because it's literally, we're daily doing work that's going to transform the landscape of workplaces forever. Yeah. So even beyond my tenure, beyond the staff that we currently have, the work that we're doing every day is going to shift the culture forever. And to me, that's important. That's impactful. It's beyond even a number count of how many people we can impact. It's going to change the way that we do business. And I think it's just such a phenomenal thing to do when workplaces put DEI as a priority for their organizations. It's a smart and a very competitive, but beyond that, it's a part of activism in the world that we live in today. And so who wouldn't love to show up to work every day to have an impact like that, right?
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, it's great when you see changes being made and you know what you're doing is working and that it's going to continue even beyond your, tenure. So, we thank you for doing what you're doing because it's much needed in the outdoors world, and it's awesome to start seeing changes happening. And I even see it, walking around iCast. So even in the past few years that I've been coming to this. So thank you again for what you're doing. We'll share Camber Outdoors so people can follow on Instagram as well. And any other parting thoughts?
I'll just say definitely stay connected with me. I'm on LinkedIn, Tiffany Smith, definitely CamberOutdoors.org. We just have so many new programming initiatives coming up. We have a survey system that we launched a few years ago that we're looking to raise up as a gold standard for the outdoor industry. And we're launching that survey on August the 1st until August the 30th. And so anyone that wants to lean in more to create change through the vehicle of the workplace definitely needs to be connected with us. Thank you so much for having me, Angie. This has been phenomenal. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. My pleasure. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of iCast.